Trump's announcement about, well, what he's calling the largest deal ever made with Japan.
That's right. It's a huge claim.
But I just signed the largest trade deal in history. I think maybe the largest deal in history with Japan.
A 15% tariff on Japanese imports, things like cars, rice, other agricultural goods coming into the U.S. He called it reciprocal.
Framing it as a way to balance things out, perhaps addressing those long-standing trade imbalances, especially cars and agriculture, which have always been sensitive points.
Okay, so that's the U.S. side of the announcement.
Okay.
And shifting over to Japan, Prime Minister Ishiba has responded, right?
He has. And he signaled, yes, a willingness to increase investment in the U.S. He even mentioned an ambition for, get this, an unprecedented $1 trillion.
Whoa, okay. So Trump says $550 billion. Ishiba mentions possibly aiming for $1 trillion. That's interesting.
It is. And Ishiba also confirmed a prior agreement to boost energy cooperation. Specifically, more U.S. liquefied natural gas, LNG, going to Japan.
So there's some alignment there on investment intent, maybe different numbers, and on energy. But what about those other points? The tariffs, the rice.
Well, and that's the key distinction, isn't it? While Ishiba talks investment and LNG, crucial details like that 15% tariff and specific access for things like American rice, those remain unconfirmed by the Japanese side. At least according to our sources.
So the Japanese Foreign Ministry hasn't put out a formal statement confirming those specific terms.
Not that our sources could find. And this really highlights that gap. You know, the gap between saying we intend to invest and having a concrete, signed, sealed, delivered agreement on all the terms.
Especially those really specific, potentially contentious terms like tariffs and agricultural access.
Exactly. It's vital to remember that when you hear these big, sweeping claims...
And connecting this back to Trump's comments, I mean, his language was pretty characteristic. He accused Japan of ripping off the U.S. for years.
Yes, familiar rhetoric there.
Talked about them refusing U.S. rice imports, the car imbalance, millions of Japanese cars coming here, almost none going back, was his claim.
He even mentioned potentially using unilateral tariffs, maybe up to 30%, if things didn't become fair, framing this whole deal as the outcome of tough negotiation.
Right. So given these bold claims and the Japanese response being, well, not fully aligned on all points, what about independent verification?
Hi.
Have news agencies confirmed this?
That's the critical piece right now. Major outlets like Reuters haven't independently confirmed these specific terms.
Okay.
And there's no official documentation released by the White House detailing this agreement either. Not yet, anyway.
So it leaves you wondering.
It does. You have to ask, which parts of this are actually binding, legally agreed upon, and which parts might still be, let's say, aspirational goals from the negotiation?